Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kieran and as you can see behind me, I'm trying to build a physical games collection. And part of my collection journey ended up taking me all the way to Japan. Hopefully you guys have already seen part 1 of my journeys. What's that? Sorry? You haven't seen part 1? Oh my, can you believe this guy? What are you still doing here? Go and watch part 1 now. The link is in the description. I'll put a card somewhere up here for you to go and see. Easy as possible. Please go and watch part 1 if you already haven't watched it. If you have watched it, then stay tuned because part 2 is happening right this second.
And now, this was my highlight of the day. Torch. Even repping Alexander the Warjar outside. And you know we had to get a quick snap with the man himself. This place was actually a small shop that looked more like a pop-up shop, and it sells licensed From Software clothes with tons of different designs. It spanned games like Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and a couple of others as well. They had this really cool figure as well inside the shop from Night Rain, and a lot of jewellery. They sell really cool replicas of the rings from Dark Souls that look like they were pulled straight from the game, but they are very, very expensive. And honestly, this place will remain with me forever. It was such a cool experience. And with the purchases done, we were heading back off to the hotel. But just before the day fully ended, I met up with the boy Vegeta and the crew of anime figures where I snagged this sick picture. And I'm definitely telling my kids the guy on the left is Goku, by the way. Days 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, I know that's a lot, actually flew by in a blur. So I'll just give you the highlights until we reach the nerdy stuff, which I'm sure you're here for. I tried the Egg Sando Famachiki combo and absolutely fell in love. We went to the contemporary art gallery for my girlfriend, which made me want to shoot myself. I really don't like art. And then I got to see your mum take on her sumo debut. God. And then I got to see your mum make her sumo debut, and she did really well. Honestly though, this was probably the highlight of my trip, and it is truly a great and invigorating sport. After this, the next day, we left Tokyo on a Shinkansen for the first time, while eating some Pikachu goodies and ended up in Hakone. Honestly, this place was very, very rural and super cloudy and rainy, so we didn't even get to have a glimpse of Mount Fuji. However, we ended up going to the open air sculpture museum, and it looked like it was turning into Silent Hill F. Although I don't like art, I got to see some really cool crabs though. We stayed for a day in Hakone before heading to Hiroshima, where we walked around Peace Park, very, very close to where the bomb had been dropped, and it was a very hallowing experience. While cool and sad at the same time, we also got to see the A-Bomb Dome, which is a leftover relic from that time. We headed to a really cool public garden with these koi fish that we fed, and they started a feeding frenzy.
Oh my god.
The next day, we ended up going to the island of Miyajima, which is full of deer and has the very recognisable torii gate rising from the ocean. I fueled up with an eel rice box before heading back to the mainland and stopping off at the Hiroshima Pokemon Center. Honestly, this has got to be the best Pokemon Center in Japan. It's not overly busy, and it has this, the awesome shiny Gyarados statue. I just couldn't believe it when I walked in. The Pokemon Center had a lot of the same plushies that had been in previous Pokemon Centers, but they had an exclusive Pikachu holding the classic maple cake known for this part of Japan. They also had a small section dedicated to the local baseball team, Carp. No wonder it's all Magikarp themed. The next day we headed to Kyoto, which was the final destination, which had my biggest gaming stop yet. But before we get into that, we had to stop off at Krispy Kreme's and grab a Mario Galaxy donut. I caught up with some Chrono Trigger on the bullet train there, and time absolutely flew by. After checking into the hotel in Kyoto, we found some more carp close by, and I got a really cool but weird looking slow-mo shot of all their mouths opening. I took the time to revisit the Kyoto Pokemon Center, and I'd come to Kyoto the year previous. It has this really cool Pikachu statue, and even a Ho-Oh. This Pokemon Center gets super crowded as it's the only one in Kyoto, and I'd already had enough Pokemon stuff. As I said, it was my second time in Kyoto, and I love how easy it is to travel from busy to quiet, and the city really has everything that you need. On our second day in Kyoto, we got down to some gaming business. Nestled in the nearby town of Uji, the birthplace of matcha, is not only every influencer trying to film their matcha lattes, but the Nintendo Museum. This place is every gamer's wet dream. At first, we had to put some stuff inside the Game Boy cartridge themed lockers. Then we had many photos in the courtyard which had these Mario themed blocks and pipes to fit inside. And of course, I got another instant photo by the Mario Castle flagpole. Stepping inside, we were greeted by a huge wall of Nintendo characters, and we got given our play card tickets for entry. And you can see I spent a long time designing my Mii. Now, this part gets a bit awkward, as I wasn't really allowed to film anything on the top floor, arguably the best part, so I had to show some images and videos from elsewhere. But the top floor is a huge open space with a few different sections showing each Nintendo console, and they're highlighted by the fact that they each have a huge 3D model of that console above the section. Each section has these glass containers with almost every game for that console inside. And additional to the games, there were also cabinets with different versions of the console and even an exploded view showing each level of the interior and all the circuit boards. Walking around each console had me in full nostalgia mode. I was trying to find all my favourite childhood games and telling my girlfriend all about it, as if dragging her along wasn't enough. What I really loved about the atmosphere of this floor was just overhearing people's stories, what they loved about certain games, the games that they played, and why they hold those memories. I really found that cool. After gushing over all the games, we went into a side room which was set up as a gallery for all the concept art for many of the mainline Nintendo games, and obviously featured games like Mario and Zelda. And it was here that I got a copy of the official Nintendo Museum book featuring Mario's 40th anniversary. But you'll have to wait for the future video to see what's inside. Before we left the floor, I managed to get some really cool short videos of this line of really rare Pokemon Game Boys. Moving on downstairs, here you could use your play card to spend coins on playing all these Nintendo games. You don't get enough coins for everything, so we played a matching card game which used the original playing cards Nintendo started out making. We then lined up to play these Nintendo games with the giant oversized consoles which needed 2 people to operate. We also spent a coin on playing some random normal sized consoles. These were the games that were available. I ended up playing Super Mario World on the SNES and died a lot. We passed this really cool wall showing the evolution of shooting games and devices for Nintendo, before heading to the best game, where you could shoot loads of Mario baddies for points to see who wins, and sadly my trigger finger was not up to par. Then on the way out, I got a glimpse of the new Super Mario Galaxy film and a 3D model of the museum. And then this led us to the best part of any museum, the gift shop. And it was here that it was called the bonus stage. I mean, it would add another hour to the video if I told you everything they sold, so I'll just let the background footage speak for itself. They had small sections dedicated for each of their biggest consoles, and each had their own t-shirt with its own colorway to match. While a lot of stuff is really cool and exclusive, a lot of it can be super overpriced, as we all know Nintendo super well. I saw a lot of people buying these giant controller pillows, just wondering how they were going to get them into their suitcase and get them home. And they had these really cool controller keychains, one set for pre and post 90s. And then on the way out, we took a picture with the Toads, and I got to see a wall segment signed by the creator of Mario, Miyamoto. And of course, we couldn't leave without visiting the restaurant next door, Hatano Burger. You can customize your burger in so many different ways, and I think there's like over 700 combinations. And here's what we got. I mean, that black bun looks super appetizing, right? And before leaving the restaurant, I got this really cool instant photo beside the Zelda stained glass, and with this Pokemon manhole. After leaving the Nintendo Museum, the rest of the trip was basically almost over at this point. The next day we saw tons of flowers at Kyoto Botanical Gardens, and also some Last of Us looking test tubes. We got time to stop off to see my boy Totoro and this huge pagoda in the same neighbourhood. We took the bus around as well to see this huge torii gate and a massive garden nearby with great views. We took the time to revisit Nishiki Market and all of its food, and stopped off at my favourite ramen place that I will gatekeep until I die. But if you subscribe, I might even reveal the location of this place because it's amazing. And as well, if you know me and the channel, we luckily found some Koi Man gacha by chance. We almost got the full set, minus just one. Before leaving Japan as well, I had to say goodbye to the giant Mario, where he blessed me with a sweet looking instant photo. And before we knew it, I was back on the plane and back in the UK again.
Hello, welcome back into the studio. Hopefully you enjoyed just that lovely video I spent a lot of time trying to make. Let me know in the comments, out of all of the videos, what was your favorite part, or what would you like to see more of? The next video is going to be basically my Japan haul. What did I get from Japan? We're spanning games, gacha, anime figures, clothes. I got a bit of skincare because I'm that kind of guy. I got a lot of stuff. So please tune in next week for me to show off basically everything that I got and see what else we added to this lovely collection behind me. I will see you guys in that next video. Hope you enjoyed. I appreciate every single one of you. See you in the next one, guys. See ya!